Good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of your favorite show, Dropped Mic. Tonight's episode is 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship, right? We're going to be making the case for both. We know nowadays e-commerce is a new thing, right? Everybody has an online business. Everybody's selling soap. Everybody's selling lashes. But then we still have, the baby boomers generation, which is a generation that's comfortable spending 30 years, 40 years working for a company. And us millennials, that's not always our thing, right? We move across the country for the next best opportunity. Well, tonight I'm joined with a panel of young professionals, as always, and they'll be sharing with us their personal experiences, right? Their opinions on, and they'll be making the case, I guess I should say, for 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. Please share this video with your friends and family. The show is being broadcasted right now on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. So if they're not on Facebook, you can always find the show on YouTube on PDF Ministry and share it with them. Again, my name is Ted. You're watching Drop Mic. Welcome. All right, everybody. So tonight we have 4 panelists with us, and one of them is our producer for the show. He's decided today to step on the other side of the camera and join our panelists and, share his opinions and his ideas for tonight's topic. With us tonight is GV. I'll start with him to have him introduce himself, and then we'll go to our other panelists. Welcome, GV, and how you doing tonight, man?
Hey Ted, hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for watching Drop Mic tonight, and thanks for joining us. Obviously tonight I'm on the other side of the camera for a specific purpose. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite topic to discuss and debate, and this is one that I feel like I had a lot of input on, so I felt like it was probably necessary for me to come on and share a little bit of what I know with you. So again, thanks for joining us.
Right, and next we have Katya. Katya, please tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what brought you here tonight. We can't, I'm not getting any sound from you. All right, there you go. Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Katya, and I'm a biologist, and I also own an online business called Essentials that provides organic skincare and hair care products. It's fairly new, but I'm very business-minded and very into the hustle, for lack of a better word. And he invited me to come on the panel tonight and share my opinions and my personal experience with business, etc. So I thank you for having me.
Okay, before we even move to the next panelist, can you tell the audience where they can find your business? Do you have an IG page, a website? Can you please share that with us, please?
Okay, we do have an IG page, and it's Essentials. And you can also go on our website at essentials.com. And we also have a Facebook page. We're also on Twitter. So we're technically everywhere.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. Definitely, we'll invite our audience to, if you're on Instagram, check them out and buy some of their products. And next we have Mr. Velarde. How you doing, man?
How's it going? All right, I'm all right. Yeah, my name is Velarde. I am an enrollment counselor at Southwestern Adventist University. I also public speaker as well as a part of a production company.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
It's called Mango Alto.
Oh, can you say that again, please?
Mango Alto.
Okay. That's awesome. And so what exactly is it that you guys specialize in?
We do a lot. We do commercials, we do film, website design, graphic design, different things like that. And right now the possibilities are endless. We're just doing what we love. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you, bro. And last but not least, we have Annecy. How are you doing? Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Annecy. I am from New York. I live in Houston now, and I am in school to be a marriage and family therapist. But my business is I am a travel nanny, so I travel with families who need to go out of town, but so essentially they're usually CEOs and things like that, and they need a nanny to go with them, but they need to be working all day in a hotel or whatever. So usually I go with them. I've went out of the country with families, and my side hustle with that is I find nannies and babysitters also for families who need nannies in Houston. I do that locally.
Awesome, awesome. And when you say locally, where are you talking about?
So right now I am only in Houston, Texas. So because the business is really small right now and it's just me, I only find families for people who are in Houston. And my nannies that work
Okay.
for me are all. So I work in the city for now. For now.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, it's always good to have that in mind. You know, scalability is good. All right. So, guys, let's jump right in. The first question I have for tonight, right? A lot of people, they love to be, how would I say that? They love the job security that comes with the 9 to 5, right? Because I have a set schedule for work. I know I go to work at this time. I come home at this time. I have time to go to my kids, soccer game, basketball game, football game. Do you guys think job security is a good enough reason to say I'm gonna go and get a 9 to 5 over becoming an entrepreneur? I'll start with you, GV.
Well, sorry, what was the question?
Do you think 9 to 5 guarantees you more job security over the entrepreneurship?
Well, it really depends. But to be honest with you, I'm one that share the belief that starting with a 9 to 5 is probably the safer way of starting a business, because what you do is you acquire resources that you can now use to open a business and whatnot, because starting a business is no small thing. And so unless you have investors just lined up ready to go, you need some sort of resources. So a 9 to 5 is probably like the easiest to acquire, in a sense, because honestly, you can start selling water for money. So that is also an easy way of starting a business. But in order to scale, you would need some sort of resource. So I think that, starting with having a 9 to 5 is definitely a start. And, you can like either continue with that or change into a different type of job, or use those resources acquired from a said job to, to I guess explore other business ventures.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I
Let's
would
say,
love.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I was gonna say I'm really big on letting your 9 to 5 fund your business, because entrepreneurship is really difficult. There at certain points, I was like, oh yeah, like I can essentially like stop working and like have the people who work for me be like my source of income and stuff, and then like know that they like you have really high highs and then you have months that you're not doing so
Yeah.
well at all. And then Corona hit, and not everybody needs nannies. People are home, so it's like I'm really glad I did not quit my job. So it was just yeah, like I'm really big on letting your business, your 9 to 5, fund your business and fund your dreams. Like essentially, it's an investment in yourself, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to add something to that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with both of you guys. I do think that a 9 to 5 is a security blanket, to allow you to make mistakes in your business ventures. Because realistically speaking, unless you inherit a business from your family, or you have a family business, yeah, that was passed down to you. Starting from scratch is really, really, really hard. So, I have to agree with you in terms of keeping a 9 to 5 until you feel secure in your business, until that business can sustain itself long enough. And I'm also going to have to agree with Anthony about allowing your 9 to 5 to fund your business, because as I said, if you're starting from scratch, the risks are of failing are really great. And if you don't have a different source of income to sustain that business, the risks are way higher. And I don't know if it's really worth it, you know. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
Yeah. I would say.
So now let's.
I mean, I can. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, V. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I mean, I completely agree with everybody. This is one of those. This is one of those things where your perspective determines your reality. Because I'm a very optimistic kind of guy. So I mean, speaking from experience, I've managed to start a business from scratch, and I had fun while doing it. It really, your mentality about everything is really is really gonna determine your outcome. The thing about starting a business though is, yeah, it's difficult when you're doing it on your own. But if you can find a couple of like-minded people, it's shared risk, and so it's not that much of a risk. When you have people who buy into whatever vision it is that you have, and are willing to share the risk with you, it's not as scary. So starting a business by yourself is difficult, but when you have people you can trust, people you can start with, it's not as difficult, nor is it as scary either. But yeah, no, it's a little bit of everything. It depends on the individual, and it depends on your perspective.
So, with that in mind, so we know in corporate America, you know, there's this issue of job cuts, right? All the time. Especially right now, like you mentioned, Anna, with Corona, right? A lot of people found themselves, you know, either furloughed or terminated, you know? So, and we also know that this has also affected small businesses, right? So, I know, V, you've mentioned shared risks, right? So let's say you find yourself in a position where you lost your job, basically, because I know one of you guys mentioned that's like a security blanket for your entrepreneurship venture, right?
Yeah.
But you lose your 9 to 5, and now you find yourself with a struggling business. How do you navigate a situation like this? I want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
If your 9 to 5 is funding your hustle and you lose your main source of income, there are the possibilities are really great that your business is probably going to collapse because that's your main source of income. I'd say in terms when you have a 9 to 5 and you have a business at the same time, whether you want to admit it or not, it's taking away from the amount of time and energy and everything that you can put into your hustle because everything is split. So you can't give yourself 100%. Now I'd say if you happen to lose your job, you can try to spin it and see the positive in that and think to yourself that, okay, this is a very unfortunate situation, but I can now put my all into this. So the greater the risk, the greater the reward, right? So at this point, you've already lost your job. It's not, you don't have much to lose except for your business. But now you have more time and more energy and everything else to put into your business. And I think if you have a positive outlook on things and you're willing to put in the work, you can also spin that and make it work for you. Because as much as we're saying this, a lot of small businesses are also thriving during this time. People who were prepared ahead of the corona are actually doing much better now, especially online businesses. These people are just sitting at home ordering stuff from everywhere. No one wants to go out. So if you had a business that was somewhat stable, even if it wasn't necessarily financially, you can turn things around for yourself and make it work despite all the negative stuff going around.
That's true. That's true. Very good point. What do you think about that, Annecy?
Yeah, I agree with Katya. Like that's a really hard situation in general to navigate because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just with everything going on, like I know people who have had really successful careers and that was cut from under them. So then they are
Yeah.
having issues with like life. But I think it definitely is, just like Katya said, like at that point, you have all the time to really put your all into what you're trying to build. And that could just be
Mm-hmm.
and even though it's a bad situation, what God uses to just push you to exactly that. Because sometimes it could be that even your 9 to 5 was holding you back. Like depending on the demand of the 9 to 5, it could have been a hindrance. So God can use any opportunity, and maybe He uses it to make you that much more focused and determined to fund your dreams. So hopefully that's the case.
Very good point. Very good point. So I don't know if any of you guys want to add to that before we move to the next question.
Yeah, you can call me an obnoxious optimist, but again, this goes back to the whole perspective thing. You know, Kobe Bryant did a commercial, and in this commercial, there was an interchange between him and Kanye West, and Kanye was like, "But I'm already the best. Like, what do you want me to do?" And Kobe Bryant said, "But are you the same beast, but a different animal?" And he was like, "What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?" You know, and I never understood what that meant. You know, I was just like, "What? Are you the same?" No, I think he said, "Are you the same animal but a different beast?" I was like, "Bro, that makes no sense. Like, I don't understand." But as time went by, that was a gem for me. And because the reality is, okay, let's break that down. What does that mean? Are you the same animal but a different beast? Okay, or either way, whichever way he put it. I don't remember exactly. Are you the same beast but a different animal? So beast in the sense to where like, yo, for me, I'm trying to win, right? Or I'm trying to be the best that I can be. Let me just put it that way, right? I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. That's me being the same beast. Different animal is like, well, the game is constantly evolving. The world is constantly changing. Technology is advancing. Social life is different. The way people communicate, it evolves, it adapts. And so like, I'm the same beast. I'm trying to be the best that I can be, but a different animal, meaning like, yo, it's kind of like if I'm running a triathlon, I'm not just trying to be the best runner. I'm trying to be the best swimmer. I'm trying to be the best cyclist. You get what I'm saying? You know, I'm trying to be the best at all these different areas. I'm trying to be the same beast, but a different animal. You get what I'm saying? So like, and the prime example would be like, take a look at Kodak. Kodak was killing the game back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh, nobody's seeing Kodak. But did you know that Kodak had the technology for digital technology before digital technology was known? But did they use it?
That's right.
They got comfortable. They were just like, oh, well, you know, it's not going to come out for a while. And it did come out for like 12 years. You've had this knowledge, but you never implemented it. And we see this example happening right now with a lot of institutions of education right now. They're being tested. And it's like, well, how strong was your online program? Oh, y'all was sleeping with the online program. Well, you're going to have to shut down because right now Corona is testing everybody. What kind of resolve do you have? How creative can you have? Can you be a different animal? So I think it's the mentality. You got to adapt.
And that's a good point because, like you've mentioned, you know, high schools, universities are all now having to switch to online learning, right? And a lot of those teachers were not prepared for that. And they're having to learn on the fly, you know, how to navigate, you know, teaching all these students, you know, remotely. So that's definitely something to think about. I don't know if you have anything to add, GV.
Sure thing. So, bro, like, I love that cookie analogy. That's my guy.
Now, when it comes to you know, my thing is that you have to have all bases covered. And so if you have a great job, I, you know, and COVID hit right now, and you realize, oh, I wasn't essential. Before that, we never even used those terms, like whether you were essential or not. And so you thinking a teacher, you're thinking a dental hygienist, a dentist is not essential, but someone checking you out at Kroger is essential. And so what that get me think is that you have to have all bases covered. So you have to have different ways of making money. So because it will be something else that is not COVID. It's gonna be a different pandemic. It's gonna be a different situation that hits a different way. Small businesses suffered a lot. And so you really can't, you only as prepared as, you know, the bases you have covered. So at the end of the day, you are really covered if you have, you know, different ways of making money. Otherwise, if you have all your eggs in one basket, you just like really like crossing fingers and hope you get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to comment on GV's point because yeah, I totally agree. I think optimism is important and it's vital for anything you're doing in life. So I do think that's an important point that needs to be covered. You need to be optimistic and you need to have faith in whatever you're doing. And if you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. You know what I mean? But I do think we need to also be careful not to sell in unrealistic dreams to people wanting to start small businesses and do stuff like that. Because guess what? You could have all the optimism in the world, and you could even have all the right people around you and still fail. So it's great that we're being positive, but it's important that we're also realistic and that we're being frank with ourselves and with everyone watching, so that they don't think, oh, if I have the right spirit and I'm happy about it, it's bound to happen for me. Not necessarily, you know, that's not necessarily the case. So I think optimism is definitely important. It's a good step to lead you in the right direction, but hard work and it's a game of patience, really, and you have to be really, really patient to win at that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think the word we would use there would be you are in business really you have to be resilient and persistent, because you're gonna have those, like, you know, mini heart attack, meaning where everything comes crashing. Like a lot of businesses are going through that right now, but you have to be willing to reinvent yourself. And so if I work on a business for 5 years and everything come crashing, I have to be able to get up the next day and find a way to revitalize my business and find a way to either turn it into something else or find a different strategy so I can keep going. So you have to be really tenacious, persistent, and resilient, because you're gonna suffer losses, you're gonna suffer setbacks. And so it's a journey. It's not a one earned goal, because otherwise, once you earn it, that's it. You cap there. So it's a journey. So as you check in the stop, you have to, you know, okay, what's my next goal? What is it that I'm going to, so you can keep going.
Very good points, y'all. So I have a question though. I know one of you guys mentioned the whole comfort, right? So being comfortable. So, you know, there are people who are not entrepreneurs, right? They're 9-to-5ers, I guess we should call them. They go to work, their bills are paid, right? They have money to support their families, they have money to travel, and they're able to save money, right? Their 401k is set, their retirement savings are all set. So these people feel like they have what they need to live a comfortable life, right? but they do have some great knowledge. They have some really good things that they could share, I guess could start a business and be successful. Would we say that being content with where they're at is laziness? What do you guys think of this?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't necessarily.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't
Okay,
say
I
that
guess
it's laziness.
Sorry.
Okay, I guess.
And
Yeah,
don't
I would.
have to call that.
Yeah, we're like all fussing over each other. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's laziness. I think that entrepreneurship is not for everyone, and I think that we, push. I mean, I think we're just our generation, especially. Like we're all just so like multiple avenues, and we're like huge on multiple streams of income, and I think that that's great, but I think it was Katya who said it, like, and I'm sure all of us know it because we are all business owners. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not easy. There are multiple times that you want to throw in the towel and stick with your 9 to 5 and let that be great. But yeah, I would definitely say like there are a lot of people who have just jewels inside of them, but not everyone is meant to just take it on the road and become an entrepreneur, because not everyone has the heart for defeat and then defeat and then defeat and then finally, like maybe for a second you get up and then fall again. Like it's yeah, not for the faint of heart. So I would say really think about it before you do it, and I hope like if you have it in you, do it, but it's not this thing that everyone should strive to be, because it's not easy.
I think even beyond it not being easy, you also have to be, I think people should be honest with themselves and know their forte, like what you're good at and what you're not good at. And as you just mentioned, Annecy, I think this generation is big on being your own boss. It sounds good, and that's just our thing. You know what I mean? Making your own money there. So I think it all sounds good, but if it's not your ministry and God didn't put it in your heart, you should stick to what you're actually good at, because some people are better at furthering somebody else's dreams. Maybe you're good with numbers. You're good at helping a company move forward. If that's what you're good at, stick to that. Because I think to be a business person, some people are good at, they're just creative. They're good at coming up with ideas. That's your thing. Stick with that. It doesn't mean you should start a business, because it takes a level of leadership that I don't think everyone's born with. I think some people, they have it in them to lead, and if you're not a great leader, it's really hard to be a business person and kind of carry that heavy load with you and lead people if you don't know where you're going yourself. Some people are better at being workers, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be honest with yourself and knowing what your forte is and sticking to that. And we can't all be business people. Who's gonna purchase from us, and who's gonna do? We need diversity for the world to work. So I think it's a lot of pressure on our generation for sure. You do your 9 to 5, but you got to start a business. Then you got to be a side pilot. Then you have to also be a doctor on the side. Like, it's just a lot for us to deal with. So I think it's honesty with yourself, and also saving yourself the heartbreak and the trouble. If you know that that's not your ministry, just don't go that route.
Right. And let's be real.
I wanted to add some V real quick.
Yeah.
So, Katya, you mentioned something like if we're all become business owners, right? Who's going to be purchasing from us? But when you think about it, businesses buy from each other, right?
That's true.
So let's say you're a business that sells coffee. You're going to need to buy cups from another business. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess in that sense, if everybody becomes a business owner.
then we're gonna reach the roof. Like, because that's what people used to do back in the day with the wealth. You know, they used to trade goods. Like, you know how to do one thing, they trade it with the other person, etc. But when he's buying from, that's not just where it stops. He's also who's dealing with numbers, because the CEO is not doing all of that. Most CEOs actually don't care to be bothered with the small details. That's why they don't care. Like, personally, I'm not. Those little things kind of annoy me. I'm not the type of person to sit there and type up all these little things. So if I had someone do that for me, I'm not at that level yet. But I'm saying,
I like the way you talk. She said, "Yet."
Yeah. I just speaking into existence, you know. But most people who are leaders are just great at that. I mean, you can have other talents and stuff, but if you're leading a whole pack, you cannot focus on the small details and thinking that that's gonna work. You're gonna spread yourself thin, and that's not a good thing for yourself or for your business.
You were saying something,
I agree. No, I agree with that. You know, I was gonna also say, you know, let's be real and you know, really define entrepreneurship, because the word entrepreneurship in and of itself gets a bad rep, because I mean just the subroot or the root word entrepreneur, like when somebody and let's be honest for a second, if you meet somebody and you know you're like, oh, you look good, okay, how you doing, and then you get to know them and stuff, and you ask some questions. I'm like, so what do you do? Because that's a question everybody asks, right? So what do you do? And they tell you, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, and you be like, okay, what kind of entrepreneur are you? What do you do? You know, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. It's different from saying like, oh, I'm a receptacle retriever, or I don't know, like a crazy job title or something like that, right? Something that's like official. I'm an executive vice president assistant, you know. But you telling them, I'm an entrepreneur. It's almost vague, right? It's not descriptive enough, because like you could be a drug dealer for all I know. Like what kind of entrepreneur are you? You know, but the thing about it is, anybody can be an entrepreneur when you really think about it, but not everybody can be a leader, let alone a business leader. Because I can be an entrepreneur and love my 9-to-5 and be completely comfortable and happy in my 9-to-5. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because for some people, man, I've met people that all they really want to do is work at a fast food restaurant. They love it. They absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, who am I to impose my perspective of success, happiness, and entrepreneurship on you? That's what makes you happy. Then do you, bro. Go be happy. You be the best burger flipper there is out there. I'm coming to your shop because don't nobody flip burgers like you flip burgers. You know what I'm saying? So like, there are so many people who have a 9-to-5, but they have an Etsy account because they have a hobby that they enjoy. Like I like making, like somebody could be like, one of my best friend, he loves making bracelets. Pope Algus is his Instagram name. I'm shouting him out right now. He makes amazing bracelets. This guy, he's incredible. He's got super talent. I wish I had like his Instagram or something. You check him out, Pope Algus. But that's what he does. But he graduated with a theology degree. You know, and he's a minister. He's a youth leader. You know, and he's also working for the university. But he makes bracelets and he's good at it. And he makes a good income from that, you know. And from time to time, I like to do Uber Eats. You know, if I just want to make a couple $100, I can do Uber Eats. But that's not my. I mean, it's a business. It's a way to bring in income, but it's not like that's not something I'm pursuing full time. If I'm free on a Sunday and I'm bored, let me just go make some money. I'll do Uber Eats. You know. So. Could you consider that an entrepreneur? Somebody who has just like a side hustle? What is an entrepreneur?
That's very good.
Yeah, I think
because I mean, one of the things. Oh, sorry. Because one of the things
No,
we've
go ahead.
seen online, it's like it gets a bad rep, like you said, V, right?
Yeah.
So the person says, hey, so here's my friend, right? That's his name, and he's an entrepreneur. People automatically are like, well, he doesn't have a job, you know? That's basically how people just sum
That's
it up.
facts.
They're just like,
That's facts.
yeah, this one doesn't
Oh,
have a
he's
job.
jobless.
Or they would just tell you, like, okay, somebody would say, I'm a banker, I'm this, I'm a nurse, and stuff like that. This guy
Right.
says, well, I'm an
Right.
entrepreneur. And they're saying, well, I guess one of them doesn't have a real job. So it's like,
That look too. They'd be like,
so it gets all this, yeah. So I guess it's just, even though as a generation we're leaning more towards entrepreneurship, but we're still getting this bad rep. So you were gonna say something, Katya?
No, I was just saying that we're also using that word loosely because if I decide to I don't know, sell cake like on the side because it's fun, I like to do it, but there's really no great passion in another source of income. I think the word hustle would be more appropriate for that. I'm hustling because guess what? I can't believe someone who's perplexed about someone else saying, "Oh, I'm in." Like, if you sell drugs, technically you are to a certain extent.
yeah.
But that's not hustle. I mean, there is a certain structure that comes with the term that I feel like you just you just said that in this kind of side. You said that you do that. If that's all that you did, apart from your 9 to 5, I wouldn't call you an entrepreneur. Like, not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
That's just another
Mm-hmm.
source of income. But
Right.
it's a broad umbrella term that a lot of people like to hide behind because I think it does
Yeah, that's
sound
true
good.
too.
Especially
Yeah.
if you don't have a job, it definitely sounds good to say that because the spectrum is really broad. You could say that to someone and you're actually a millionaire, or you could just be a drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to be careful in the way that we're using the term, and it's fine to use it loosely, but I think we shouldn't get too we shouldn't be mad about people who are perplexed about the whole thing because it is a term that is just thrown around like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
In that
agree.
sense, would you say that a drug dealer is not a proper entrepreneur?
Oh, absolutely not. I would say a drug dealer is an entrepreneur. Do you know how hard it is to be a
Yeah.
drug dealer? Bruh, you got to work your way up the up the ladder.
the
You know what I'm
latter.
saying? You got to start on the streets, right? You got to start
Yeah.
off on the streets. I'm not giving y'all the step-by-step instructions on how to be a drug dealer, but I'm just assuming based on the shows and the books that I have read, you start from the streets. And then you think drug dealers aren't orderly? They're not organized or timely? You better not be late for a drug deal. I said be here at 7 o'clock on the dot.
Sure. That's
You know,
right there.
yeah. They're punctual. I got to show up. Otherwise, it's a setup. You late. Why are you late? Who's you talking to? I got to show up at 7. I'm punctual. I'm trustworthy, right? There's a level of there's like a low key honor code that goes in, and I work my way up after they give me responsibility. After I'm climbing up the drug corporate ladder right now, you know what I'm saying? And then, then until you become the kingpin, and as the kingpin, you gotta manage people. You know what I'm saying? That's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's
It's
why I
not
said to a certain extent, I do think
right.
that hierarchy and there's structure, and as you said, there is a ladder to climb. So I don't think you can catch away from them because, as I said, if someone decides to, like, as you said, do Uber or whatever, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but yeah, if there's structure put in place and there's there are rules and regulations and all that stuff, I totally respect that, and you have earned the term.
But don't be a drug dealer, guys. If everybody watching this, don't do that. Jesus wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like that.
Yo, so can I can I interject real quick? So I wasn't gonna say that, but sorry guys, I've been having a lot of technical difficulties, so I'm just gonna keep talking until I get my camera
Yeah.
fixed. But y'all can hear me, right? So here's
Right.
the
Yeah.
We
thing.
can.
To me, a lot of the new generation entrepreneur are just cloud chasers. I feel like a lot of people are cloud chasing because they are looking down on someone else having a 9 to 5. Like, I don't work for anybody else. I have my own business, though. Therefore, I'm superior than so and so. To me, it's two different ways of making money. That's all there is to it. So what I mean by that, if I make a $100,000, on my 9 to 5, and you own your business, and at the end of the year you end up in the red, like, who's doing it the proper way, right? So you can have your own business and you failing at it. And so
Mm-hmm.
someone that's not that has a 9 to 5, or someone that owns a business, I feel like you just have to focus on being successful on whatever you do. In fact, if knowing yourself is actually the best way to start with that, because if you know yourself, okay, I love, doing things, I love creating things, I have the spirit of an entrepreneur. You're gonna now focus on creating either different businesses or creating a way to find resources in order to fund your different businesses in your different project, and that may be a way of acquiring a 9 to 5 and using that money to start your business. Another way
Mm.
of thinking of it, if you think of yourself like, hey, I would love to make more money, but I don't have any bone in me to run a business, you can be a teacher and use part of your salary to invest in other people's businesses. So you're not running a business
Yeah.
yourself, you're not an entrepreneur yourself, but you are making smart investment that are creating other stream of income for you. So
Hmm.
this idea of, I have to start my business so that I can be free. All you guys are in business, and you guys know you work so much more running a business than you would having a 9 to 5, because a 9 to 5 means you have a time where you clock in and a time where you clock out. Running the business, you use your own resources, you almost have no personal time because that's your baby and you have to groom it, so everything you
Hmm.
have, personal and whatnot, goes into that. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you have to be honest with who you are as a person, and then from there you can decide, okay, this is what I can do in order to create, multiple streams of income. Whether that means opening other businesses, or whether that means I stick with my 9 to 5, but I'm gonna use some of my money from my saving to make smart investments. Because at the end of the day, I don't have to run Apple. I don't have to work at Google, but I can be making money when they make money,
Hmm.
right?
Now,
So
GV,
making investment as a teacher, right? Go ahead,
yeah.
bro.
No, no, no. You can finish your thought. I'm sorry. There was a pause. I thought.
Yeah, no, 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 that's fine. No, I'm saying, so you can be making money from
Hmm.
other businesses without you running day to day, because it may not be for you. Because I'm telling you, here's the best analogy I've heard of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone that is on an airplane and you're willing to jump out of it, trusting that on your way down you'll be able to build your own parachute and land on time and go about your business.
That's a lot. Ooh,
That's what we do, though. That's what we
that's
do.
extreme. But are you jumping off the
But
plane
that's
with the
what we do,
resources
though,
to build the
because
parachute,
nothing
though?
is guaranteed, right?
GV,
Nobody's
that's
jumping off no
extreme, bro.
plane.
You want me to explain that? So check it out, though. As an entrepreneur, there's nothing guaranteed, and I mean, most businesses fail. Let's be honest with that. So really, starting a business, the most guaranteed thing that you have when you start a business is that you are going to fail. Succeeding as a business
Well,
person
yeah.
is the outlier. So really, you are it's a free fall technically. So it's what you do
Actually,
through that journey that gets you on the road to success. So otherwise, if you just start a business, that's a free fall to failure.
actually, no. I actually appreciate that analogy, but let's break this down because I'm gonna tell you straight up. If I,
Talk
if
to
I
me.
jump
Talk
out
to
of a
me.
plane and I'm gonna die immediately after I jump out this plane. I'm not gonna wait to die. Like I'm gonna die immediately before I hit the ground. But I'm not. Look, here's the thing. Um, I said this before. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. It's not what. How do I put this? You know how they say when you take a leap of faith. The thing about the leap of faith is not necessarily um oh man, I'm literally trying to find the right words to put this. The leap of faith is not necessarily you knowing that you're going to land. It's more you know why you want to jump. You get what I'm saying? So because you are so solid in your why, everything else will fall into place. So I guess that fits along your analogy because my thing is if I know why I'm jumping out of a plane, that would have to mean I've already considered how, right?
Yeah.
Right
Not
before
necessarily.
I do the what. That's the well, I mean, if you did actually Simon Sinek wrote a book on this called Start With Why, right? Where he broke down something called the golden circle. Right in the center is the why. You start with why, then you have the how, then you have the what, right? So if I understand why I want to do something, it's gonna inspire me or motivate me to figure out how to get it done and then for me to know what to do afterwards. You get what I'm saying? So like if we break down
Yeah.
this analogy of the plane, that's why I asked you, is like, wait, you jumping out the plane, I don't know how to build a parachute or how the parachute's supposed to function. You know, all I've seen is cartoons. I take off all my clothes off, tie them together, and try to make a parachute. I don't know
Yeah.
what the structure is. You get what I'm saying? But that's not. I
I
don't
think
know how a parachute is built or constructed. But if I knew how a parachute is constructed, one, two, then I got the accurate amount or the exact resources that are required to build a successful parachute that will ensure that I'm going to land. Then I'm jumping. Otherwise, I'm being a fool about jumping out of a plane. I am jumping to my death. That's the
what I think
idea here,
you're
and that
sorry.
I yeah no, I was just gonna say that's the reason why that's one of the reasons why a lot of businesses fail. Um, it's well, one is you're not really sure why you're getting into this business, so you don't really know how to gotta keep it together. So when the tests and trials come, you're not gonna know what to do. And then the other reason, and this boils down to the individual really, and this is one of the things that I go out and I tell people about when I go public speaking. Like, don't just start a business because everybody else is doing it, and you don't have no. What is your business about? What is the substance of your business? Because like you want to own a business, but there's a deeper level of responsibility that businesses have. And I'm quoting Simon Sinek from his book, The Infinite Game. The responsibility of business is to use its will and resources to advance a cause greater than itself, protect the people and places in which it operates, and generate more resources so that it can continue doing all those things for as long as possible. So
Yeah.
it's like, yo,
Okay.
what is your
Yes,
business
sir.
about? What is your purpose for your business? You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you
Yo,
have that understanding, then
to
I
yo, point taken, brother. Um, let me
think I'm
add that real quick. Yeah, add that real quick. So, I remember I had a business man, patient of mine, and we were chatting a little bit, and I told him, it must be cool, running a business, because I try to, pick everybody's brain as much as possible. And it's like, actually, it's not that cool, because I have to make sure I close on all the deals I'm supposed to be closing on for the month. Otherwise, my employees are relying on me to take care of the sick children. They are relying on
Mm-hmm.
me to pay the bills. So if I fail a lot of people, and people are relying on me in order to take care of the responsibility. So there is that aspect as well
Mm-hmm.
in launching a business. You are also responsible for the people that work for you, and you are responsible for the resources. So you can't just be reckless, because it's not like a 9 to 5,
Right.
like your manager will just call someone to cover your shift. If you call in sick for the day and you don't feel like, your throat was hurting a little bit, so you just call in sick for the day and you just go ahead and rest. When you run a business, there are a lot of responsibility that comes with that. So that's another other
Mm-hmm.
aspect to it as well. But yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, go ahead, Katya. I
The
know you were gonna
Katya,
say
Katya
something.
Okay.
wanted to say.
Yeah. I want to also allow the conversation to move on. But just to go back to the plane analogy, I just want to say that, V, I saw you kind of zooming in and over analyzing the analogy itself when the point is to see the message that's being spoken through that analogy. Nobody's jumping out of a
Right.
plane, and unless you're an engineer, you probably don't know what you do if you jump out of a plane without a parachute. So I think what you'd be saying is um, kind of creating some type of safety net for yourself if you're going to take a risk. If you're jumping out of a
Uh-huh.
plane, which is taking a risk, no one's jumping. So if you're taking a risk, you're kind of preparing yourself. You're doing damage control to the map, like as much as you can. So the parachute is not really a parachute. It's just that you're preparing yourself just in case this goes wrong. This is how I prepared myself to save my business from failing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also we also talked about purpose in our businesses. Um, it's great to have passion in your business, and it's great to have it for a cause. But sometimes the cause is just money making, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily about saving the children or helping the women. It's just because I want to make more money. And that is a purpose within itself. And as I said, people might consider that greed or whatever else. But I think that it doesn't necessarily, we don't need like a greater sense of purpose to really start a business. Sometimes you just
Mm-hmm.
broke, or you have a great idea and you think you can apply it and make more money. I say go for it.
Right. Well, adding on. Well, let me challenge you with this here, because here's the thing. That's a slippery slope, because if you a business has the mentality like we just want to make more money, right? What are you willing to do to make more money? How far are you willing to go to make more money? Right? Because there's a lot
True.
of people that just want to make money, right? And that's all you want. You just want to make more money. So I'll fire these employees because I just want to make more money, or I'll cut these corners because I just want to make money, right? Or I'll
Yeah.
water down my products. I'll dilute my products because I want to make more money. And it's just like it is a slippery slope. I'm not saying that every company that wants to make money is going to do vile things in order to make money, but considering the fact that we are human, and if we don't hold ourselves to a cause higher than ourselves, sooner or later you gonna slip. Now, I'm not saying that it's. I'm also not saying that it's not possible for a company without a just cause to fail. But the difference is an infinite game versus a finite game. Because the reality of business is, yes, it in a sense it is like a game, but it's not a win or lose game. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are in business. I want to win. I want to win, and it's just you. That's too much of a box to put yourself in, and the reason why is because business is not a win or lose game. It's a game you play until you run out of time and or resources. That's it. It's not about who wins, it's about who lasts. That's the difference between a legacy and whatever else. That's the difference between like a business that is been around for generations and just like this business is probably gonna last for a couple of years, a few years, 10 years. You get what I'm saying? So it's just you have to restructure your mentality if you're trying to have a business that you want to pass this down to your children and your children's children, and then and this is going to last for generations to come because we have a higher purpose. This business has a just cause, right? And it's not something that every business fully has a grasp of, and a lot of businesses don't have a grasp of that, to be completely honest with you. But hey, okay, like let me give you a perfect example. You got Apple, and then you have Samsung, right? And this is another example that Cynic used, whereas Samsung, when they want to sell a product, Samsung, their commercials will be like, oh, we've got a Qualcomm Snapdragon SP50, 4.7-inch display, 1600 lumens. The battery life is about 72 hours. And they tell you all this technical jargon that if you don't understand these tech specs, it's going over your head. You're like, okay, cool. But whereas Apple back in the day when they were selling their products, and we don't even have to go back in the day. We can still talk about now. Apple did a Thanksgiving commercial where like a grandfather lost his wife, right? His wife passed away, and so the family's coming over for Thanksgiving, and his granddaughters is fresh, and he's still hurting and everything. And his granddaughters were on their iPad, and they made like a video collage of grandma, and they took a picture that they took, and they pasted grandma's picture in there, and then he just started crying. Not once did they say anything about their products. They didn't say anything about how, our products are this and that. They sold to your heart, and that thing made you wanted to go back and buy Apple. You know what I mean? When Apple started, they were like, we believe in everything we do. We believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in making products that are easy to use, user-friendly, and so simple that even a child could use it. A Fortune 500 CEO, a teacher in school, a mother at home, a student, and now everybody's connecting with that. Yo, I believe that. I believe in that. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I connect with that. And that's the difference between selling a product and creating a culture around the product that you sell. And that's why people are willing to line up the night before for the new iPhone. But I ain't never heard nobody lining up the night before for a new Samsung Galaxy S36. Ain't nobody lining up for that. Nobody. I'm not staying overnight for a Samsung.
That goes along the lines of what they call this new concept of corporate social responsibility, right?
Right.
A lot of companies nowadays are being held to a certain standard. I'm not sure. I'm hearing some feedback. Some companies nowadays are held to this standard, right? So we expect you to be a certain way. We expect you to operate a certain way. We expect you to do certain things for the community, to be involved, to some extent in bettering your community, right?
Right.
So I think, like what you said, V, most companies, I mean, if not all businesses, are in the business to make money, all right? But it's like now with regulations and things like that, they're being held to some higher standards, which is really good. But I mean, I want to remind our audience that you guys will have the opportunity to call in to ask our panelists some questions or to share your opinion, right, with our panelists and the other viewers. We will also be pulling questions from Facebook and the YouTube comment sections to ask our panelists. We're going to be taking a break right now, guys. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Share the feed with your friends.
army of youth from all walks of life, dedicated and devoted to making a difference in the community. We strive to be the change that we want to see, putting our God-given talents to good use while relying on Him for guidance and strength. We do not reject tradition. We simply seek improvement. By turning both strengths and flaws into assets for the Lord. We are heavily armed with mass construction weapons, those of faith, hope, love, and prayer. And we are looking to impact every single individual we encounter. We are PDF Ministry, proactive and devoted faith ministry.
All right. We're back. So I'll be pulling some questions from, the comment sections, questions that the viewers are sending in for our panelists. I think one of the first questions we have here is about freedom. Does entrepreneurship really allow you more freedom than a 9-to-5? I'll start with you, Annecy, and then we'll go with our other panelists.
I would say, I think like by the question, like freedom would be as far as time is what they're saying. And I would say that if you're looking for no structure, if that's what you mean by no freedom, then by freedom, then in a sense, but it's just like, I think we said it earlier that your time is not yours. Like there's no clock out button with entrepreneurship. So if something is needed to be done late at night, there's no 5 o'clock that says, regardless the job is not done, I get to go. So I would not necessarily say it has freedom. I would say that the goal for me in entrepreneurship, or one of my goals, is financial freedom, like to where I'm not stuck to someone, waiting for someone to sign my paychecks. And also I like the idea of not only getting paid on one day a week where my stream of income is just residual and things like that. But as far as freedom, I'd say if you go into it thinking that entrepreneurship is you're gonna make your own schedule and do your own thing and stuff, it's I guess in a sense where, again, there's no structure, but it's not really freedom as far as your time. It's not. It's a lot of time that you put into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Okay. And I believe we have a caller on the line. Let me try to put them through. Hello, thank you for calling Drop Mic.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. You're live.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, everyone. I'm the anonymous caller again. I hope everyone's having a good night. So I came on a little late in the conversation. So this might have been shared. But I just want to put this out there. I know you guys just asked the question about freedom. Y'all, the dream is free, but that hustle is sold separately. And I think we live in this society where we want this instant gratification and everybody's going after, an extra stream of income and calling themselves an entrepreneur. Let me remind y'all that there is a difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur. In addition, let me also remind y'all that there is a difference between having several streams of income and one of those streams of income being entrepreneurship. You can invest in stocks, you can be on the Forex trading thing, You could even be an investor of a product and not really putting in that effort. An entrepreneur actually takes risks in their business. That's what it is. So when you're coming in and you're just saying, okay, I have a hobby and I'm going to make money out of it, it's cool. But what y'all don't understand is that if you think this business is going to grow, and since we're talking freedom, you're looking for that financial freedom, there is work that y'all have to put in. You know, and I think that's what you don't think about. We keep saying, oh, I don't want to work. I don't want to work for the white man. Or I don't want to work for the man. Y'all, honestly, I am very well, sleep well at night, knowing that the federal government pays for my health insurance. And I'm cool with it. Granted, I am an entrepreneur. But until I know that I can cover my rent, I can cover my my medical bills, my school and everything by myself, I haven't found that level of freedom. And as an entrepreneur, there's a significant level of risk that I have to take financially, time-wise, even health-wise. You know, there's a lot of investment of yourself that you have to take. I think one of the panelists even mentioned when you bring people under you, some of us, we become hyped about, you know, having a team and this, that, and that hustle is also quite expensive, even more expensive than you working for yourself. Because if you think that you're going to pass all the work to them and it gives you more time and so on and so forth, that's also a lie. Because the moment you take 1 minute off, that's probably $100 you lost, and that's a paycheck that you didn't give your team, and that's possibly a lawsuit that falls on you. So when we're looking at 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship, shout out to B. Simone, who's not trying to mess with the 9 to 5. It works. So don't think that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, continue.
Yeah, so don't think that, you know, entrepreneurship is the only way out. You can have a 9 to 5 and you can be celebrated for your innovativeness, for your wisdom, your guidance, and you can be very well successful. You know, going to school even for a degree and investing that in your 9 to 5, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And there's also nothing wrong with you saying, I have a great idea and I have a purpose. And those who are only in for it to make money, remember, you're not, granted, we're in a capitalist society and businesses are here to make a profit, but your goal is to provide value to your customers. If you cannot provide value to this society in any way, shape, or form, you do not make 1 penny out of it. So that's my piece. I was the anonymous caller. Have a good night.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Juliette, for your very good points. And I think that's where it goes into, what do they call that? You know, customer service, right? Your customer service will determine how much business you get, right? Yeah, you can be in it to make money, but if you don't master customer service, somebody will come, but they won't return, right? And I remember this guy that I was talking to, he said, your business should always be a service about pleasing people. Right? Because if you're not in it to make your customers happy, to please them, not only will you have a high turnover rate in your employee, but also your customers will not return. So let's go to. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the whole money and purpose thing is misunderstood because I was earlier. I said maybe your motivation to start a business is money. Realistically speaking, if we were all billionaires, we wouldn't, unless you have a passion for business. That's the ultimate goal, right? To make money. So I think now we're not talking about honesty. Now the motivation to start something is what pushes you to learn about the field that you're trying to succeed in. So if my motivation to make money is to sell what I sell, my products, right? It doesn't mean that I'm being dishonest about the product because my motivation was money. It's just what got me started. Maybe most of us started a business because we were broke and sitting there like, what could I do to make more money? That's your motivation right there. Jeff Bezos cut health insurance from most of his employees. He's the richest person alive right now. Now that's dishonest. But if I am motivated to make more money, I can still be kind. I can still be honest about my business, and I can still have great customer service. Because if money is not your motivation, then work for free, volunteer. Because essentially, money is at the root of it, and I think we should put the negative connotation or association that greed has with money, or if money is your motivation, then God, blah blah blah. No, money is my motivation, and money is giving me the patience to sit and learn that field and be great at it and provide great customer service and be a great business person. Money is my motivation, but I can still be honest and be a good business person.
I respectfully disagree, because you have to go deeper than that. Because, like, I mean, you kind of just hinted at it. Because if somebody says, I'm doing this for the money, why? Why do you want to do it for the money? That's what I would ask. And well, because that's the thing. Money it's a tool. It's the surface. It's got to go deeper. I'll give you an example. I was in New York, and I was speaking to a group of students, and there was a girl. Because whenever I meet students or just people in general, I like to ask them 3 questions. What's your name? What's your dream? And why? Because that generally gives me a great understanding of where your head is at, right? And so this girl said she's like, I want to be a neurosurgeon. And I was like, wow, that's a really respectable profession. This is after she told me her name. I was like, that's a really respectable profession. Wow. Like, why do you want to be a neurosurgeon? She goes, oh, because I want to make $400,000 starting off. And I was like, okay, well, unfortunately, you're not going to make $400,000 starting off. She's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, you got to go to undergrad if you get in. Then you got to go to med school if you get in. Then you got to go through 4 to 6 years of residency if you make it through. And then when you're done with residency, you're still a fresh doctor. You're a newbie. You're going to need at least 10, 15 years worth of experience before you become a solid, bona fide, reputable doctor. And by then, on average, neurosurgeons are at $1 million in debt. So yeah, you better be making $400,000 if you expect to pay that off in this lifetime. So dig a little bit deeper. Why do you want to be a neurosurgeon? She was like, okay, fine. I want to help people. And I believe that is a response that is, to a degree, rooted in cognitive dissonance. It's like you had a selfish reason for why you wanted to be a doctor, a neurosurgeon. You want to make $400,000, but now when we called you out on it, you want to seem more humanitarian or humanistic. Like, no, I want to help people, because the reality is anybody doing anything with or without a degree can help anybody. Your dog could help you. So, like, dig deeper. Why do you really want to be a neurosurgeon? She's like, okay, fine, I want to save people. I was like, again, a homeless person could save you. Your dog could save you. Anybody could save you. Now, I'm giving y'all the PG version because homegirl got upset because I was in her personal life. I was coming for her. And that's not the reality of it. But, I'm just asking these questions. She's like, I don't appreciate you asking me these questions. I said, listen, boo-boo, if I don't ask you these questions, you're not going to ask yourself these questions. It's important. You got to answer this. Dig a little bit deeper. And she actually opened up and she was like, okay, my dad had a brain tumor. Okay, are you happy? I'm like, no, I'm not happy. I'm so sorry that happened. How's he doing? Is he okay? She's like, no, he died. Like 0 to 100 real quick, too quick even. And so like at this point, it's just like, yo, what do you say to something like that? So I said a quick prayer and I was like, God, help me to know what to say. And I said to her, because I know that in life, you got to go through it to get to it, right? And so I asked her, how has your father's death shaped your desire to become a neurosurgeon? And I wasn't expecting a response because she's mad. She's huffing and puffing, just mad. And then she opened her mouth to say that the doctor that was responsible for her dad was a jerk. He was rude. He was disrespectful. He was very short with her and her mom. And she felt like he wasn't giving his all. And that if he did give his all, her dad might have still been alive. And they wouldn't have made certain decisions that may not have been good for his ultimate outcome. And just breathing and just trying to hold it in. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm praying, God, help me know what to say. And so I told her, I was like, I think we learned something here today. She's like, what did we learn? What did we learn? I was like, I think we learned that you want to be the doctor that your dad deserved. I think we learned that you want to be the doctor that would have saved your dad. Because the reality now will be that every single patient that walks into her clinic, her mentality is, I have to save my dad. And she's going to save her father throughout every single patient that walks in there. So you can give her as much money as you want. You can give her as many awards as you want. Nothing is going to change her purpose. Her purpose is, I have to say, my dad. Homegirl started crying, like, oh my God, that's it. That's it. And what is it? That's her purpose. Because you can only go so far in life with saying, I want to make $400,000, or I want to help people, or I want to save people. You got to be, it's got to be personal. Dig deeper, because that's not enough fuel to get to your destination. You're going to burn out sooner or later. Some people burn out later, some people burn out sooner, but it's just like you don't have substance. There's no substance that's going to keep your engine. That's the difference between dynamite and dynamo. Dynamite is a one-time reaction. Dynamo is like it's a conduit by which explosions are constantly happening. You get what I'm saying? So like her purpose is, I have to save my dad. And so like that's the deeper thing there, right? And so but that's what I'm trying to say. And you,
Can
go
I
ahead.
Yeah,
link
I
what
know.
both of you
I feel
guys
like
say?
what?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, he
actually
wants to
agree with
link.
the both of, yeah, I want to link them together because I agree with both of you guys. So
Yeah.
I have a life purpose. I have dreams and goals. So that's my main business. That's my main endeavor. But there are other hustles or businesses or 9 to 5 jobs that I'll take
Mm-hmm.
in order to finance my dream. So there are things that I do
There you
strictly
go.
for money because
Yeah.
it's a resource that I'm acquiring to invest somewhere else. I don't care
There you
about,
go.
you know, the, any other motive but the money that I can acquire from either investing in such business or launching such business or working a certain job
Mm-hmm.
in order to finance my business. If I go deliver pizza right now, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
about pizza. I mean, I do care that people get fed, but not in that way, right? So
Right. Right. Right.
I'm making extra money on the side to in order to finance my dreams and goals. So
Your
I
dreams.
actually agree with both of you guys. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, yes, the your life purpose, you need that, but you also need to make decision that is strictly putting cash in your pocket because at the end of the day, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you're in production, you know what I'm talking about. Like
Oh
our
yeah.
dreams
Oh yeah.
are very expensive, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I what I do as a 9 to 5, I care for people, but
Mm-hmm.
as a result, I have to also even harder because my
Right.
dreams are so expensive that I need a
Right.
certain amount of cash in order to finance that. And when I
Absolutely.
do get to do my dream, now it doesn't even matter what kind of money I make. Like I love production so much, like I'll do it for free. But I
Right.
need to pay my bills, so I need to either production is being very successful where it covers
Right.
everything that I need. I can afford my living,
Mm-hmm.
or I need to
Right.
do something else on the side or whatnot that can take care of that way I can actually fulfill my
Right.
dream. Because to be honest with you, like the young lady that you just mentioned, she's I guess blessed enough where being a doctor is a life purpose and a great
Mm-hmm.
source of income. Not
Of
We're
income.
not
Right.
all blessed where our life purpose is tied with money. So we
Right.
actually
Right.
need to, like for instance, like one of the most important people in society, a group of people are teachers. But teachers
Mm-hmm.
don't make as much money as they should based on their importance in society. So as a
Right.
teacher, you would think that, okay, I need to really give it my all to in order to take care of my children. But as a result, do I just sacrifice the rest of my life? Do I not build a
Mm-hmm.
future for myself? And so you would need to make
Right.
other moves, in order to, set yourself up in the future. And so
Right.
to kind of bring that all together. So there are businesses or endeavors that you will start that is strictly money move, and there are your actual dreams and goals where all your passion
Right.
and everything goes to.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to dig deeper because, I mean, because that's what I was saying. Because you said you're making money to further something that you're really passionate, that you're actually about, like that's the point of making that money. It's not just to make money to just get stacks, just to say I have more stacks than you or I have money. Because remember what I said earlier,
I
right? The
mean,
responsibility of a business is to use its will and resources to advance a cause greater than itself, protect the people and places in which it operates, and generate more resources so that it can continue doing all those things for as long as possible. So no
let me
one's
challenge
saying that
that
it's
though.
bad to generate money.
Right. You can't box
So
the
let
whole
me
concept.
challenge that. Right, let me challenge that a little bit. And that is great, bro. Like I have that too, but I can't lie to you guys, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like they're all moves that are like strict money move. And yes, they are
Mm,
made in order for me to stack up. That's what it is.
yeah.
Like if I go invest on Apple right now, like I don't have any say on how Apple run the business. I don't have any say on what they do. But guess what? That's a smart investment, and I trust the
Right.
ability to make product that people are gonna buy. I trust the ability to make money, which as a result will make me money. That's a money move. I can't, there is no way of penning that into, some sort of, feel good story. Now, my production company, now that's a different story. Yes, there are money tied
Mm-hmm.
to it, but I'm looking to tell stories and I'm looking to do other things. So I do believe that all, moves that we make, or the business and ventures that we get into, that are straight money moves, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, bro, I can be as compassionate as I want to be. I can be all of that. If I get to my 50s
Mm-hmm.
and I look around and I don't have any means to continue living my life, that's a
Mm-hmm.
problem. I did not properly manage my funds. So part of
Mm-hmm.
also, uh, um, evolving as a young adult is also stacking enough money for myself and investing wisely so that I can be set in the future. We have to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it as well. You don't want to be in your 50s and like, yo, I need to, you know,
Yeah.
I need a dollar. I need to, you see what I'm saying, though, right? So you are
Right.
going to right now make certain moves that, put some money to the stack up some money, put some money on the saving, make some investment to set you up for the future where you
Yeah.
have no other sentiment but, getting financial resources, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. So now how you use
Mm-hmm.
these resources is where I come to you now.
Mm-hmm.
How you use those
Right.
resources now, I can use that resource to fulfill a life goal, to help people, and
Mm-hmm.
now I can put a mission behind that resource, right?
Right.
I can
And
put a
I'm glad you
mission
said
behind
that.
that resource. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I
Mm-hmm.
need to acquire that resource first, get that secured.
Right.
Then I can I can, I can compartmentalize. I can say, okay, I'm gonna have 20% of that resource on a saving account. I can have another 20% on investment, and then I'm gonna, let's say, use 50% of that resource to do mission trip and help people and all of that. And that's great. But taking
Right.
all of that and investing it in something that is dear and near to your heart is
Mm-hmm.
not always, actually not ever a good idea, because at the end of the day,
Oh
you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
give what you don't have. So,
Of course. Katya said something earlier.
mhm.
Um, Earlier Katya said she made a clear definition of a hustle. Hustle, that's what you said earlier. Because you're talking about a hustle, right? So when I was talking about that responsibility that I was talking about, I'm talking about of a business. I'm not talking about the responsibility of a hustle. All right, because if I'm gonna deliver pizzas just so that I can make enough money to help support this business venture that I'm really really about, what I'm saying, that's my hustle. That's not my business, so to speak. That's more like my 9 to 5, right? That's not my entrepreneurship thing. That's my 9 to 5, so that I can. That's what we were talking about earlier. I'm talking about the responsibility of a business. See, now you have, and I love how you put it too, because you were talking about your production company, right? And you said you like to tell
Mm-hmm.
stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's your
Yep.
purpose within your business, okay?
Yeah.
And so that's what you want to do, and that's what I'm talking about. So with that being your business, now those rules or that responsibility would apply to you, right? And in order to make sure things run, you want to go and deliver pizzas to help make funds. That's your hustle, right? That's what I'm saying. So I'm
So
not
what
saying
about
that
my
you have
e-commerce
to.
store?
But not even e-commerce, GB. I'm just thinking of what I said earlier is a theory that can be applied to skills. So I do understand what you're saying about versus business. What I'm saying is we need to detach the negative ideas that comes with wanting to make more
Making
money.
money? Yeah.
Being motivation. I think that's a whole different
Yeah.
topic, but I'm just gonna slide real quick. Christianity
Oh
does that
no,
to us.
I get you. I get you.
We're more
Oh
comfortable
mercy.
being. We think
Well,
that's what God wants for us, and we don't like the idea of having a lot of money. I don't think God wants
you're
you to
right.
be poor. Um, what I was saying is, I went to I forgot what store, and I saw a picture of Shaq in front of kitchen supplies. I am 1,000% sure he does not care about
Mm-hmm.
kitchen supplies. He does not have a deep passion for. He might, but chances are he probably doesn't. Okay, and that
Mm-hmm.
is a business venture for the sole purpose of making more money. And even if that was his only source of income, if the fact that I want to make more money is my motivation and I want to invest in that because I want to make more money, what I do with my money next, that's more of a personal thing. And we can't go around and judge every business. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
does he think McDonald's like out here feeding cancer on a burger to people? You think the deep they have a higher purpose of doing this and doing that? We don't know. We don't know what's behind anyone's business really. We can hope for the best, or we can hope that they're genuine and that they're good people. But essentially, wanting to start a business with the sole motivation of money is nothing wrong. And when we're talking business, I think we have to kind of separate with on a general scale, we have to stop thinking of, oh, like God was, you know what I mean? Like we're talking numbers. God is great. He's good. He wants us trust. Like I understand that perspective, but that's more personal than it is general. So if we're speaking on a general scale, it can't just be a matter of faith in this and that. We're talking numbers, and we have to stay within that category.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I agree. I agree with your statement to a degree, man, because I'm a people person. I believe that great company. I mean, like it's the reason why that purpose is important, and I'm talking in business sense. I'm not talking about like hustle. I'm talking in business. The reason why that sense of purpose is important is because when you start a business, there's a certain atmosphere that you want to maintain with that business. That business is a physical representation of your vision as an entrepreneur slash business leader, right? And you're going to need to surround yourself with people who buy into your vision, people who believe in your vision. And great companies, they don't hire skilled people um, and motivate them. They hire already motivated and people, and they inspire them, right? You want to have you want to be that's the difference between like somebody who's like a leader and somebody who's not, you know what I mean? And it's really important to really have that level of understanding of what your dream is and what your purpose is, because it might be personal, but it's something that is represented by the company that you start. It's a reflection of yourself. That I mean, it's your that's why people say that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like this business,
That's
if I'm into this, like yo, I love this, that's my baby. Like that's all you. That's you. That's your that came from your imagination. And you know, what kind of atmosphere do you want to set in this business? And why do you want to set this atmosphere in this business? And why do you feel this type of atmosphere is conducive to a successful business? And that's personal to you as a business leader. If I'm opening an organization, like if I want to tell stories, I want to surround myself with storytellers. I want to surround myself with people who are good at capturing stories, people who are good at portraying roles for an effective story. You get what I'm saying? I want people who can write a great story, people who can contribute to the idea of sharing stories and buy into my vision. I think it's not something to be taken lightly or something to just kind of just be slept on or dismissed, because it again, this is like I mentioned, it's an infinite game. It's how long you gonna last. It's not about whether you win or not. Yeah, you could win today, but will you be here tomorrow? Are you, how
Okay,
long do you plan on lasting? I remember
right.
Dame Dash said something that stuck to me. He said, I'm not hustling for my first name, I'm hustling for my last name, because I want to leave something behind that my children can be proud of, because their name is attached to it, and my children's children can be proud of because my name is attached to it. And that's the difference between being rich and being wealthy. I'm trying to create generational wealth.
Mm,
Amen to that.
mm. Wow.
So
Yo.
just to say my last place, so we can go on forever about this. um, I'm not against. It's not what you're saying versus what I'm saying. All I'm saying is what you're saying is valid
Uh-huh.
and it's important. We also have to leave space for people who don't necessarily go into business with that mindset. It's a blessing
Of course,
for
of
when
course.
your passion and money can be in one thing and you can make money off your passion, but it's not always the case. And I just want to say that it's okay if
Hmm.
you're investing or starting a business for the sole purpose of making money, and that can motivate you to be whatever you want, kind, whatever you want to do with that you can do. But if making money is your initial motivation, that's also fine. You don't have to live with the guilt of a greater good, right? Like that's not necessarily, it's not necessary for a business to be successful, and we can see that um, with a lot of business
Mm,
people. And I an example of just Jeff
mm,
earlier. So it's not that I'm disagreeing with what you're saying. What I'm saying is
mm.
to say, but it is a great thing. It's a great thing to have a good heart and to do good. It is a great thing. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
both of our arguments can be put together. They're not. It's
Mm.
not one
Right,
versus the other.
right, right,
Right. But
right.
I do want to
So,
finish
yeah.
though, the just, it's just one sentence, because there's a rest. There's an extra part to his quote about the responsibility of business that is really really important, because he mentions that an organization can do whatever it likes to build its business. You can do whatever you like to build your business, so long as it is responsible for the consequences of its actions. I just want to throw that out there. That's super
Okay,
super
sir.
important. Can't forget that.
Okay. Yes,
We hear
sir. So, I know I just realized I've been told that my feed is frozen. We've been hit with so many technical issues here at the studio. That's why I've been in and out since the beginning of the show, and now we almost, yeah, it's been crazy. So I'm having to take over for Ted in order to conclude the show. So just bear with me. This
Yeah,
is
you
not my
frozen like
job, guys. I know, trust me. It's a good look though, so I'm not too mad about that.
it
So
is. You posing right now. Just
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
try
thank
to.
some
I'm
God.
gonna
I'm
try to.
I'm some
I'm gonna try to
yeah,
get it.
it's like a trailer, a movie trailer or something like that. So I kind of like that. I might keep that. So that's a good look.
One
But yeah,
man.
thank you. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us
Yeah,
tonight.
absolutely.
Definitely thank you for tuning in and drop mic. I know um I kind of left my job as producing to jump in here and and talk to you guys. We gotta do this again under hopefully
We
better
have
condition. So no,
said,
definitely part two is coming for that because I really really enjoyed you guys and I enjoyed all your input. So any last word before we leave? I'm gonna start with Ansi and then Katia and then my man Villargi before we wrapped
Hmm.
up. I don't think we can hear you, dear.
Sorry, guys, I did mute.
There you
Yes.
go.
So for my last words, yeah, I think we touched on a lot of just great topics, and um, yeah, I guess like essentially I agree with both Katya and V, just like finding your why in the business, and if financial stability is your why at the moment, then that is it. But like finding purpose, and especially God's purpose in what you're doing, is
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing to me as far as, like why. But yeah, like I guess, yeah, that's my closing. Just I'm grateful for this opportunity to be on, and yeah, thank you.
And you're gonna be back, right?
Yes, I would love to be back. I'll be back.
Absolutely. There you go. All right, Katya, any last word?
Yeah. So just to piggyback off what you just said, it's just I think it's important, and and um and trusting in that, and just being persistent, as you said, until you make it work. As I said, there's no formula on how to be successful or how to make something work. It's whatever you make it, own path, and make money off of that. And God is okay with that.
V, talk to me.
Last words. I have a quote. Um, the courage to see the infinite game, to see the purpose of business as something more heroic than simply making money, even if it's unpopular with the finite players around us, is hard. True courage to lead holds the company and its leadership to a much higher standard than simply acting within the bounds of the law. Only when organizations operate on a higher level than federal, state, and local laws can we say they have integrity, which incidentally is the actual definition of integrity. Firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values, incorruptibility. Indeed, the pursuit of a just cause is a of integrity. It means that words and actions must align. It also means that there will be times when leadership must choose to ignore all the voices calling for the company to serve the interests of those who don't necessarily believe in the cause at all.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Yo, we got our link up for sure. Thank you so much, you guys. This was Drop Mic. Like I say, sorry for all the technical difficulties, but hey, that's part of the game. And we will see you guys next Friday, same time, same channel
All
on
right.
YouTube and Facebook. Be well. Have a great week, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll speak to you guys next week, 8 o'clock
All
Central
right.
Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Drop mic. See y'all later.
Bye, guys. Are we still saying bye? Bye, guys.